Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's CITI program webinar. Today's topic is Pragmatic Clinical Trials, what hospitals and IRBs need to know, and will be presented by Dr. Stephanie Moraine from Johns Hopkins University and Ms. Chalice Palivan Ibrkic from Northwell Health. Now, let me tell you about today's presenters. Chalice Palivan Ibrkic directs regulatory affairs for the Institute of Health System Science at Northwell Health. She oversees post-approval monitoring activities and provides regulatory and ethics consultations on development and ethical uses of artificial intelligence, pragmatic research, and implementation science in healthcare settings. With expertise in IRB leadership and policy, she ensures compliant research innovation. Stephanie Moraine is a Dracopoulos Rising Professor at the Berman Institute of Bioethics and Associate Professor in the Department of Health Policy and Management at the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. She co-leads the Ethics and Regulatory Core for the NIH Pragmatic Trials Collaboratory, which aims to strengthen the national capacity to conduct large-scale pragmatic clinical trials.
So our learning objectives for today, we aim to identify the ethical complexities of pragmatic clinical trials, or PCTs, that result from the deliberate integration of research and clinical care, to analyze ethical and regulatory challenges presented by PCTs, to identify best practices for informed consent and for data and safety monitoring for PCTs, and finally, to discuss institutional considerations and strategies for effectively implementing and supporting these trials. So to get us started, what is a pragmatic clinical trial? So one definition is provided from Califf and Sugarman in a special issue they did in the journal Clinical Trials in 2015. And they describe a PCT as being designed for the primary purpose of informing decision makers regarding the comparative balance of benefits, burdens, and risks of a biomedical or behavioral health intervention at the individual or population level. But as you know, one of the criteria is that research be no more than minimal risk. How should we think about when research is no more than minimal risk, particularly in the context of a PCT? So the first relates to this insight that what's regulatory permissible is not what's ethically optimal.
I invite you to review our content offerings regularly as we are continually adding new courses and webinars in various areas of research, ethics, compliance, safety, and professional development throughout the year.